Every morning, before I open my phone, an AI delivers a digest of the most relevant things happening in my world. Papers, projects, threads, each scored for how much they matter to me right now. I built this system because I believe in the law of attraction, and I wanted a better version of it. Let me introduce you to Signal. It's like my personal assistant that never sleeps. It's always on the lookout, keeping tabs on places like Hacker News, Reddit, ArXiv, X, you name it. And it doesn't take a day off either. This thing runs 24/7. Here's the cool part. Every single item gets a score from AI based on what I'm into, my goals, and even those pesky little blind spots I might have. The best part? Every morning, I get a curated list of high-scoring items straight to my inbox. Everything else? Well, I can just breeze through or toss it aside. Easy peasy. This system is working for me even when I'm catching Z's or stuck in back-to-back meetings. It just keeps going, non-stop. And honestly, what used to seem like pure magic? Well, now it feels more like good old engineering. You know, I've always been a believer in the law of attraction. I mean, I've experienced it firsthand more times than I can count. Back in university, I had this burning desire to start a business. But here's the kicker. I had zero capital, no solid plan, and honestly, not even a clear vision. Just pure obsession, really. I dove into everything entrepreneurship related, chatting about it all the time, and hanging out with people who were actually creating stuff. Fast forward a few months, and there I was, running a music instrument store with my friends right on campus. How wild is that? Years down the line, I found myself itching to leave China and start fresh somewhere abroad. I didn't have a detailed plan, just a sense of purpose, a desire to move, and some tiny steps forward. Gradually, things started to fall into place, and before I knew it, doors began to swing open. That's how I ended up immigrating to Canada. You know, I've always had this drive to work in finance. I jumped at every chance to dive into that world, and guess what? I eventually made it to partner at a finance firm. But let me tell you, it wasn't a smooth ride at all. There were no fairy godmothers granting wishes here. Instead, it was all about a consistent pattern. Laser focus, diving deep into the details, a few lucky coincidences that just happened to fall into place, and then taking action on those opportunities. Forget about the mystique for a second. The way the law of attraction works is actually pretty straightforward. First up, intention. You've got to pinpoint what's really important to you. Think of it as setting a goal or just choosing a direction you want to head in. Next, we've got attention. This is where you surround yourself with the right vibes, the right info, and the right people. Then comes pattern recognition. Your brain? It's like a filtering machine, sifting through the chaos to find those signals that actually matter to you. Finally, action. This is where you start acting on those coincidences, which, spoiler alert, aren't really coincidences at all. Ever wondered how your brain actually makes sense of the world? Well, there's some fascinating neuroscience at play here. Your brain has this nifty little part called the reticular activating system, or RAS for short. Guess what? It processes around 11 million bits of information every single second. Crazy, right? But hold on. Your conscious mind? It can only juggle about 40 of those bits at a time. Think of the RAS as a filter. It's like a bouncer at a club, deciding what gets in and what gets tossed out. Now, when you set a clear intention, you're basically reprogramming that filter. All of a sudden, you start noticing things that were always there. That article you ignored? The person you were meant to meet ages ago? Or that golden opportunity that seemed to pop up out of nowhere? It's not some mystical force at work. It's just your brain honing in on the signals that matter most. You know, this is where everything started to make sense for me. Think about it like this. It's just like how a recommendation algorithm operates. First up, you set an intention. That's like creating your user profile. Then you dive into a sea of information, which is basically your content feed. Next, the RAS, or reticular activating system, kicks in to filter what's relevant. That's your ranking model doing its thing, scoring the content for you. And voila, those coincidences pop up. That's your personalized feed coming to life. Ever thought about the law of attraction as a biological recommendation engine? It's pretty fascinating. Just like any recommendation engine, it hits a ceiling. You know, limitations on bandwidth, processing speed, and those finite hours we all have to read, connect, and explore. Now, Flip the script for AI. It doesn't deal with those restrictions at all. Pretty wild, right? Back in early 2025, I dove headfirst into the world of AI. One thing that kept popping up was that the top researchers focused on creating systems that actually model what's important, instead of just spitting out text. I mean, Yann LeCun left Meta to kickstart AMI Labs, and Fei Li managed to rake in a $5 billion valuation for World Labs. Talk about making waves. My goal wasn't to create AGI or anything that ambitious. Nope, I just wanted to craft a better filter for myself. And that's when Signal really started to take shape. It's pretty straightforward, really. You've got sources like Hacker News, Reddit, ArXiv, X, Product Hunt, and GitHub Trending all feeding in. Then every single item goes through this LLM that checks it against my personal interests, stuff like what I'm currently curious about, questions I'm digging into, and those pesky blind spots I'm trying to fill. If something scores high, it's a must-read. The rest? They're still there, just not at the top of my list. Every hour it goes through a rescan, and every morning it sends me the goods. What this means for me is that my attention bandwidth gets stretched by about 100 times. Seriously. I'm processing over 500 items daily thanks to these AI summaries. It's like my personal assistant deciding what actually deserves my full attention. Forget doom scrolling. I'm dodging those algorithmic distractions that are all about keeping me hooked, not helping me grow. Have you heard about this shift in the tech world? They're calling it the transition from the attention economy to the intention economy. Now, the attention economy, that's all about social media the way we typically experience it. It's designed to grab your attention, keep you scrolling, and in the end, sell that engagement to advertisers. But here's where it gets interesting. The intention economy flips the script. It's focused on optimizing for your goals instead of just the platform's metrics. Did you know that researchers over at Cambridge are raising some serious red flags? They're saying that AI is about to start picking up on your intentions as they form, and guess what? It might just sell that info to advertisers. Crazy, right? We're heading into an arms race, folks. The big question is, will you create your own system to manage this, or just let someone else do it for you? Ever feel like the traditional law of attraction is just sitting around, waiting for something to happen? I mean, you set your intention and just hope the universe comes through? That always rubbed me the wrong way. It's like relying on luck, right? Now let's talk about the AI augmented version. This one's way more dynamic. Think of it as an active flywheel. Signal zooms in on what really matters in your area. Every day, as you sift through that curated info, your knowledge just gets richer. With that, your actions become sharper. You make better decisions, write more effectively, and have those spot-on conversations. And here's the kicker. As you take action, Signal gets better too. It's all about making new connections, discovering fresh sources, and gathering invaluable feedback. Pretty neat, huh? Check this out. Signal really got into the whole world model research scene back in late 2025. I dove right in, like, deep. I began writing about how to apply these world models in ways that, honestly, folks weren't really doing at the time. That got me into some conversations I never would have been part of before. And guess what? Those chats brought fresh ideas and insights back to Signal. It's what you'd call engineered serendipity. Basically, it's about setting things up so those happy little accidents happen more often. Pretty cool, right? Have you ever thought about how you can actually take control of the law of attraction? I didn't give up on it. I just decided to tweak it a bit. You know, engineer it my way. Let's think about this for a second. What are you really trying to pull into your life right now? Think about it. What kind of info would you need to see, like, every single day to help you get there? And here's a wild idea. What if you stopped relying on some random algorithm that doesn't know you at all, and instead created one that really gets you? You don't have to be all in on the law of attraction to dig into this. All you really need is a belief in better signal processing. Simple, right? I'll be diving deeper into how Signal is actually built, the architecture, how scoring prompts work, and the whole profile design thing in future posts. You can find links to the full article down below. If any of this clicks with you, stick around. I'm all about sharing insights on building AI native systems that truly get the job done.